Well, it's about that time. It is two group. Oh shit! How do we start this off?
You've been saying two grooms in a pod a couple times, and then so
Oh,
you kind of
I
forgot.
kind of
But
messed up the. I've been messing it up. Okay, let me just start again. Take it up. Okay. All right, it's about that time. This is Two Grooms.
in a pod,
I'm Cleo.
and I'm Shannon. Oh, you're funny. I love it.
So, we're just gonna keep on going. We'll keep
Yes,
it. We're
keep
gonna
on
keep
going.
it. So in this episode 15,
Wow,
so much has transpired
it's a lot.
since the last. This has been transpiring.
Yes.
Uh, I think one of the big things of note is an article. Bear World magazine did an article on us, a feature, if you will.
Yes.
That's out. It came out on May 16th, 2025. So we put that down for the time capsule. And it's a great article. It has some really good pictures of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, they have a way bigger following than us. So I hope some of these people, some of y'all bears out there, girl, or the bear allies, wow, click the subscribe button.
Yeah. Hope so. Yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's great. I mean, it was kind of shocking. Not shocking to see because we knew he was going to do something
yeah, he had told us
on
he was
us,
going to do
but
an article, right?
to see myself on there.
Is your
Yeah.
first time being in media like that? Being in, yeah.
Well, yeah, officially. I
Cute.
did some college things,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
some brochures and stuff for
Oh, you
the
were
department I
a
work
brochure
for.
man. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you
So
were featured,
yeah.
showing the diversity of the
Yes.
department.
I was a model for them.
Oh, a
So
model. Oh,
that
okay.
was a long time ago.
Yes.
But yeah,
Okay.
it was fun. It was fun though. Yeah.
Mm. Well, you know, I mean, let me tell you, I do have a little bit of experience being featured in the media.
Okay.
Having a background as an actress, like I do,
Of course.
and a directress. So I've been featured on a few things.
As
Uh,
you should.
well, thank you, love. I knew I chose you for a reason.
Yes.
Yes. But so it's really exciting. Our subscribers are up, by a couple. At this rate,
It's
by
something.
our 100th episode, we'll be at. So it's like we'll be close to 250.
Yes.
At
Yes.
this rate, y'all making us earn it.
It's a slow burn.
It was a
Yeah.
slow burn.
We're gonna get there
We're gonna get there, but
somewhere.
we're gonna get somewhere. Where we want to go, we're not quite sure, but
Yes.
we'll know when we get there.
Yeah.
But with, as we said before the last episode, with growth though, with the rain comes the mud,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So with the rain comes the mud, meaning, just like you'll get sun and rainbows, but you're gonna get the mud and maybe haters or just people who want to offer their unsolicited advice.
I wouldn't call all of them haters
No,
because we're
'cause-
not gonna reach everybody.
true.
We're not. I
We
mean,
won't
they're
because they're
people's
haters.
opinions. People's opinions are their opinions.
Yeah,
You know.
people who don't like us, their opinions that don't like us, are hating opinions. They're
Is
hating
it really always?
That's what I'm going to choose to believe. choose to believe, unless there's something that's very, very constructive. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see if my little headphone is. I guess she's okay.
I mean, 'cause I don't think I hate everybody that I don't like or agree with.
Or you're not hating on everybody that you
Right,
like, right?
right.
You don't
I mean,
like.
you like what you like.
You like what you like. Okay, I mean, with that in mind, that could be possible.
Yeah.
But I am a member of the Hater Association.
Your
So-
real name is Petty.
So I know good hate when I know hate when I see it.
Yeah, I do too.
I
I do.
But whatever. We welcome all. Because listen, because I had deleted that one comment, as we said in the last episode. I hate that I deleted it because you know what? All traffic
Yeah.
It's potentially good traffic as long as it's not uh, harmful or
Yeah.
racist,
Right.
misogynist, transphobic, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, as long as someone's not coming from a place of hatred,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
negativity.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it's it comes with the territory, like you said,
It
being
comes
out
to
here.
territory. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
I mean, it's not always good, but I'm not trying to be, you know, perfect and
Yeah.
political or anything. But I think not everybody's going to agree
And that's okay.
or want to listen
Yeah. Yeah.
or whatever.
You're right.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I was as we're both big scrollers of the internet and on our phones and
Mhm.
things. Have you seen the the plantation, the Nottoway plantation that's burning? That's
No,
burning to the
I didn't see
ground?
it.
Well, there's some plantation called the Nottoway plantation. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Hmm.
And it's apparently one of the oldest plantations, like from 1865 or something, or 1845.
Hmm.
And it's currently, or it was being used like as a bed and breakfast or
Hmm.
hotel and museum and whatever.
From where?
Um, I can't remember. I feel like it was one of the. I'm not even gonna say because I don't know. It was a southern place,
Okay.
and but what's more important though
Hmm.
are the comments.
Hmm.
It's the comments for me.
What?
It's it's the people, most of them, my black people,
Okay.
who are in the comments
Uh-huh.
talking about what time's the cookout. Talking about throw a hot dog on the grill for me. Talking about the ancestors have spoken. Talking about you thought you got away with it, but the ancestors said no. Because apparently the fire department had put out the fire.
Hmm.
They were like, okay, the fire's all out, but the fire came back. And I was like, oh, was that the ancestors saying, oh, no, 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 no. Enough of this.
Some
She must go.
sometimes certain things can't be explained.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So was the ancestors getting their last lick back on the Nottoway plantation? Because she was a real plantation. There were real slaves there in the past.
it could be depending on where it is. I mean, it could be some.
Some spirits at
Yes.
work.
Yes.
I choose to believe the spirits were
Yeah,
at work.
I think so.
It could have been easily just a grease fire that got out of control. It could have been. It could have been somebody was playing hopscotch, a little match. I don't know. But I
It
choose to
could be
believe.
anything.
I
So.
choose to believe that the ancestors, that if you do certain horrible things, that the ancestors will come back for you. Whatever that is. Slavery, genocide, Holocaust. There's a certain level of things that the ancestors, the spirits cannot rest, honey, until they get you.
Hmm.
That's what I choose to believe. I choose to believe in the color purple, Sealy, everything you done. How do they? Everything you did, everything you. What she say? Everything you said to me is already done to you.
Right. Something like that.
Something like that. Y'all tell me in the comments what she
Things gonna be a
said.
little more crooked.
Oh
So.
yeah,
Right.
everything you said to me is already done to you. Everything you've done to me is already done. I don't know what
Yeah.
the hell she said,
Yeah.
but it was
Everything you've
something like
done to
that.
me. Yeah.
But that's what I like to believe.
I mean, a lot of people believe that apparently, and I
Hmm.
think we are in a time where a lot of things are happening that they give us hope, but kind of like okay, makes you wonder like, is that
Yeah,
something that's
yeah.
supposed to happen, some paranormal thing, or
I just wish that the way in the movies, like where Ebenezer Scrooge get his and spirits come and get him. I'm like, when are the spirits of Christmas past going to come visit Donald Trump? Okay, I mean, like, okay,
well, sometimes, sometimes we may not see it happen to people
right,
that probably deserve something,
right.
something bad to happen. I don't wish that on a lot of people, but hey, I'm human.
Speak for
I'm
yourself.
human.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I think karma hits people sometimes, and
Hmm.
sometimes you may not be around to see it.
Yeah. True that. And it is true. Sometimes people do, get their comeuppance and you never do see it. I know for me, you know, because I'm also a manager, or if depending on who you ask, a manageress, and sometimes people
The man.
get get demerits, chastised, punished, reprimanded, and other people on the outside don't know. They don't see it.
Correct. Right.
And they're like, oh my God, nothing happened to them. Nothing happened to them. You're ineffectual. You didn't do anything to him or her or them, they, thou. But it's like, you don't know.
You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what has happened to them.
You don't know what the write-up looked like.
Exactly.
You don't know what the you don't know. So okay. So with that in mind, I'm gonna remind myself of that.
Yeah.
Just because it looked like he ain't getting his, don't mean he ain't getting it or he gonna get it. But what makes me think he ain't got it is because he's still cutting up. Ebenezer Scrooge, when he got his, honey, there was a retraction. There was a Merry Christmas and here's the money for little Timmy and let me get Timmy a golden leg and all that stuff. Like it was like a retraction.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but sometimes there are some other dings that, you know, stunt the progress of his negative stuff, you know, that we don't see.
Yeah, okay.
You know, little things.
All right. I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows it could get worse.
It could get worse. I don't, you know, sometimes we don't see how it could, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is bad. It could, you know, be worse, but
Right.
we can't hold on to that. We can only do what we can do to try to make it better
Right.
at
True.
the moment, and you know, support each other and hope for the best, and try to make change.
Yeah.
However that is.
Yeah.
You know, but we got to do something.
Very true. So let's get into this. Well, I have another thing I want to talk about before we get into some of our bullets. So in this episode, for those of you who are going, girl, what are you talking about this episode? We're going to talk about a couple of things. We have listener questions.
Oh,
So we had some write-ins from some listeners, so that's cute. And we also and they're all the questions were relationship centered. I've been collecting these for a minute.
okay.
And then the other thing we're going to talk about is a conversation I had with someone.
Okay.
He is in his 70s
Okay.
and he is DL
Mm-hmm.
and he is married
Okay.
and his wife doesn't know that
Okay.
he's still doing DL activities.
Still doing or
Still doing. Yeah, still doing.
okay? You said the wife didn't know.
She did not know. The wife does not know that he's still doing DL activities.
That he's still doing. So she had to know.
We'll get into all that. You're
Okay.
trying to get ahead of the
You're
story.
confusing me. Okay.
You get,
Okay.
just listen.
I'm sorry. I'm picking it apart
You're
already.
picking it apart. Just stay with what I said. Okay. But before we get into all that, so I was, I'm trying not to get in trouble anymore for talking to, for talking to people.
Good luck with that.
I had a whole conversation with one of my friends because one of his friends saw one of our podcasts and said, "Girl, I think he's talking about you." And my friend called me and said, "Girl, my Judy called me and told me that you was talking about XYZ on the podcast." And my friend, now this is a good friend. He did not have a problem with what we talked about on the podcast. His issue was that for him, it was his first time ever hearing what I said about him in the podcast. And I explained to him that, honey, it was really just an impulsive comment in the moment. It was an idea that came to me, and we talked about it. He was cool about it. He understands podcasts and understands how things are instinctual in the moment, and that there was no harm, no foul intended.
Yeah.
And so
Well, that's a good friend.
that's a good friend.
Yeah,
That's a good friend.
I mean, he should know you are very spontaneous.
Right.
You respond
hmm
very, impromptu.
But I also found out that the girl who got blocked, the girl who got erased,
That was her?
she called him. No, she didn't call him about that, apparently. There was another friend of his.
Oh.
But the other person who we called King,
Mm-hmm.
who's more so, let me just stop. The girl who we called King uh, had called my other friend because we have mutual friends, and I guess was trying to get ahead of the story and be like, oh, Cleo did this, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Yes, I know what y'all thinking. Y'all old bitches having this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something, girl. It don't change.
No.
Somebody, if unless you're gonna quit dealing with people,
Right. You're always going to have.
you're always gonna have drama. You're always gonna have gossip. You're always gonna have he said, she said. It does not matter, no matter how old you get. So don't be in our comments talking about you're two mature men and you should not be having this kind of stuff. Girl, it happens. It's gonna happen to you if you're lucky enough to continue to have milestones and not a headstone.
Everybody
Okay.
gets it.
Everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it.
But where was I? Oh, so she had called him to try to, like, I guess, get
Tell her side of the story.
Yeah, her side of the story. And when I talked to him, he was like, I can't believe you didn't even call me and tell me about this. I was like, girl, I didn't want to give her no more mileage. I didn't want to give her no. I got it. Like, I don't even want to talk about her right now.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I
But
mean,
but whatever.
yeah.
Oh, what
Okay.
you got to say? What are you holding back? What are you pulling your punch?
No, I don't
back?
want to give it any more energy.
Gotcha. Okay, I appreciate that.
My concern is always about you and how you feel about it, and if you're happy at whatever decision you made in it, and you can live with it, and you are, so I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
great. And me and my friend are good too. The one who called me, and we talked about it. And he had a realistic expectation, which essentially was, hey, maybe that's something we should have talked about, or even I should have called him after the episode. And go, oh, girl, this came up, and girl, blah blah blah. Which you did tell me I should have done. So I am going to give you your flowers right now. Shannon.
Okay. All right.
You said maybe you should give him a call and tell him that we talked about this on the podcast. And
I did.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. I'll get around to it.
And you forgot about
And I
it.
forgot about it. It was innocent enough.
Yeah. But I think it's your closest friends, and if you know that you have mentioned something about
Yeah.
them, or closely related to them,
Yeah.
I think you owe a conversation because of what's happened
Right.
with,
But also, though, I think my other friends don't have the same level of sensitivity or unrealistic expectations around it. Because, for example, my friend who got scammed by the guy about the nude pictures and stuff, I told him, I talked about this on the podcast because he hasn't listened to everything. He's very busy with work, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's great. People should know that this is happening."
right.
Because I hadn't heard about it. See how adult, see how demure he was, mindful he was about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, people are different. People, I mean, he didn't take it as a negative shot against him.
Because he's
Right.
a grown ass man and he understands.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
people, but some people are sensitive. I mean, yeah. And some people also are.
Say it. What are
A
they?
little.
Hmm.
They want to control certain situations, I think,
Okay.
and they want you to feel bad about certain things you talk about.
Maybe. Well, okay. Well, let's move on because I was about to go in on her.
Yeah, we could go all day about.
Yeah,
this
we go on about
topic,
this, and we
but
don't.
I think we need to move on.
Let's move on. So let's talk about the DL 70-year-old person. So one time I was at a conference and this man who I see, at the conference, and we're friends on Facebook and acquaintances in person, move in some of the same circles, know a lot of the same people. And this was shortly after we had gotten married, I think. And so he and I went to lunch at the conference. He was like, "Oh, let's go to lunch." So we went to lunch. And, we're talking, mind you, I've met him, I've met his wife. I know that he has children and grandchildren. So we were sitting there talking, but I must say,
Family man.
but I must say though, I always got a vibe from him
Hmm.
that I thought he was part of the Rainbow Coalition. But
You knew.
I knew he was part of the Rainbow
You know.
Coalition.
Stop
But
playing.
there's this thing in the South, especially with older gay men
Mm-hmm.
who have chosen
Uh-huh.
to live a heterosexual lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, just because you are choosing to live the heterosexual lifestyle does not make you heterosexual
True.
necessarily. Because you have just suppressed, supposedly, allegedly, your desire for what you really want and are just moving in on the outward in a way that maybe satisfies your religion, that satisfies some other things. So let me get back to him. Okay, so I always thought he was suspect. And I don't mean that in the way that you go, he's sus, but he was sus. So lingering hugs,
Uh-huh.
you know, staring too long in the eyes, stuff like that.
Right.
So we're at lunch, and he's like, "I really admire you." I'm like, "Oh, well, what do you admire me for?" And he's like, "I admire you because you are living in your truth, and you're with your husband. Is it just him? Is it just him?"
What does it mean?
He meant, am I, got anything on the side? Am I on the apps? Or are we playing
Friends?
together? Yeah, all that stuff. So I was like, "Yeah."
Am I? You can't hear me.
It was just not coming in enough for me.
Okay.
And so I was like, no, we don't do that. And he said, I don't remember what he said verbatim, but so just some of this may be me taking a little bit of liberty, but the intent is all there.
Okay.
Well, I I I am gay, but I can't be gay. I used to mess around with guys when I was younger, and my wife, she knows that I used to, but I told her I was delivered from it
Mm.
because, and I hate to do this part
Why?
because women always have a problem with, like, a man can't never have slept with a man and like then get with a woman later, that if he does it once he's gay forever, whereas women can sleep with 30 women then get with a man and people accept that she was just experimenting. So I hate anticipating what people are going to say, but let me get back to the story.
Okay.
But anyway, so he said, I told her I slept with men before, but I was delivered from that. But the reality, I wasn't.
Okay.
I thought she was a great person, and what I wanted was children,
Mhm.
and I wanted a family. I wanted grandchildren, and I didn't think I could ever have that back. Now, remind you, this man is 70 something. Okay,
I get it.
so if we take it back 50 years, what? Okay, math. What is that? That's 1990. It's a different time.
It's a different time. Yeah. I mean,
I think my math is right. My math may not be right. But anyway, don't hold me to that. Oh, Jesus, don't hold me to that. I think he may be even. Okay, anyway. So,
75.
that's right. Fuck. I was born in. Oh, Jesus. Okay, 70. Oh, God. Okay.
How old are you?
I know. Hello. It was so easy. It was right there.
Mad,
For me.
but I get it.
It was pressure. I'm trying to do a podcast. I'm trying to
got it.
think. I'm trying to do math at the same time. It's just impossible. Okay, forgive me. He didn't marry me for my brains, apparently. Okay, so so it was a different time,
Yeah.
and so he white knuckled it for years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he did have times where he would get back and go off to conferences alone and have trysts and and get that scratch that itch. and then come back home. And I asked him, I said, why are you still there? Why haven't you, why won't you be honest with her? And he said, because I'd lose it all. I would lose it all. And I love my children and I love my grandkids, and no one would understand. No one would understand. And so this sweet person is 70 years old on apps, scratching palms in conference rooms or at conferences or whatever.
We see that. We've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I know I've seen it a lot in this life,
Yeah.
and it's sad for that person to go through his life not living in his truth.
Yeah.
But that decision he made of the time, and it's just unfortunate. But I've seen a lot of men and women do that,
Yeah.
play the role for a family,
Mm-hmm.
and after a certain time, it's like you're all in it, and it's too late, and you just stay in that closet,
Yeah.
and you stay in that place of hiding and suppressing your feelings,
Right.
or looking in places where there's not a lot of good in it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just to scratch an itch momentarily. And it gives you that momentary
Yeah.
kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But I know that, they're probably dying inside.
But it's also maybe the fact of the matter is that he is bisexual. You know what I mean? It could be that he's bisexual and he and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But he's from a time where he can't have those kind of real conversations. Right? He told his wife initially, but she was of the okay, well, let's not do that anymore. But here's the thing though. Even as I'm talking about it, even if you're bisexual, if you've chosen a relationship where monogamy is the rule that y'all have set,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't even matter if you're cheating with a man or a woman. It's just the fact that he's stepping out.
Yeah.
That part is really the part, period. Now there is the other part that he really needs to be in an open relationship.
At his age, at this point.
I mean, he's not going
What
to
if
change
he-
anything. I'm just saying, in the beginning, though, if he knew I'm the kind of person who wants the benefits of heterosexuality and the benefits of homosexuality, so I want to be bi, but he had to choose which one was going to give him the most benefits, so he chose heterosexuality.
That was the safest for
That was
him
the safest bet for him to get all the things he wanted.
in so many aspects.
Mm.
To get, the wife, the white picket fence and the children and, those, I guess, comfortable feelings of heterosexuality that, if you were even bi or gay, you wouldn't be afforded,
Yeah,
especially when he was growing up in the prime of his life.
yeah.
It just wasn't a thing.
But I wonder if he ever met the right person. Like if he met someone, a man who swept him off his feet, and he felt that man would, he could be safe with that man, if he would take that risk. Because I have a friend years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can still call him a friend. We haven't talked in years, not because anything happened. It's just we still talk.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I had a friend years ago, back when I lived in Columbus, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and his boyfriend, at that time my friend was probably in his 40s. His boyfriend who's in his 70s or late 60s, met him, left his wife, said, I am gay. Moved in with my friend, and they lived their best gay life, still living it to my knowledge. And the man, he went and became a lawyer. He left, changed careers, and just kind of just had a whole new lease on life. And so I wonder if this guy, the 70-year-old who I was talking about, if he had one of those kind of opportunities, would he lose it all for that? But I don't think he would. I think he has what he wants. I think it's working for him. He didn't seem like really too beat up about what he was doing. He seemed like he was a little bit like, oh, I hate that I have to do this, but he had resigned himself that this is my life and this is what I'm going to do.
Some people get comfortable in that place and they stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Some other people are dying inside enough to like, okay, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Or it could be, oh, I met a fabulous, man or woman,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can live my life happy. I didn't think that was an option.
Right.
Living my truth. So it's a lot. It depends, and maybe race has something to do with it. Maybe your family connection, how many kids you have, money. It's a lot of
Right.
a lot of things that play into someone's decision to leave or stay.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, my friend, the one back in Columbus, his man did not leave. He left his wife, but he did not divorce his wife so that she could get whatever insurance benefits that they had set up or whatever. So basically everything he had before he met my friend essentially was the wife's. And so he's just started a new life.
Right. It's kind of like starting over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think eventually his kids came around and all that kind of stuff. Cause they're all grown and I don't know, but I don't know. I do think like you said, everybody has their reasons for staying and doing that thing, and it's never black and white. It used to be a lot more black and white for me, but as I begin to talk about it, even talking about it tonight, the reason why down low people stay in relationships or not honest about the relationships are varied, and I think it's it's not good. It's because you're lying. Ultimately you're lying to somebody. If you are, I'm talking about people who in this case, the spouse doesn't know. You're lying to them, and so that part is the part that's the bad part.
Yeah.
And so while I don't want to judge, and I love to judge, but I don't want to. I don't want to judge.
It's just not black and white.
It's not black and
I
white.
don't think people.
But
judge
it is
your
wrong.
situation. I think you have to let people tell their own story and live their own lives.
Yeah.
And you have the choice to be with them or be around them, support them or not.
Yeah.
And if you're not, leave them alone. But I mean, we're all going to judge people in every walk of life, right? But I think that if you are someone from a certain age, a certain background, certain, family dynamic, you can't dictate what other people choose to do in their lives.
Yeah.
But you can choose not to be a part of it if you want.
Yeah. So. Great point. Nice point. We're going to move on to the next segment. But before we do, I was talking to a listener today. How you doing there? Let's call him OM. And he said to me, "Oh, Shannon is really coming out of his shell. The spotlight is on." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Yes, he is." And he's like, "Oh, not that he's necessarily better than you." I was like, "Oh, okay, girl." I said, "It's okay, girl. It's okay if you feel like Shannon is."
Can I have my
limelight
or something?
Let Shannon have the spotlight.
Okay.
Everyone, it's okay if you feel that Shannon. It's okay if you. Only reason why you tune in is to see his handsome face. That's okay, because you know why? I win. I win. You're like, oh, I tuned in for Shannon. Great. I won. You tuned in. So it doesn't matter. I can't lose. So it doesn't matter. So I appreciate that. And so
I do too.
and I want you to know
I am getting better and
you are
more comfortable.
yes,
That's the
you
main
are.
thing.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Just, play the position and
Okay.
we'll be
What up?
everything will be good. Okay?
Uh,
So
okay. Thanks.
so let's get into these questions. Oh, wait a minute. I did have one more thing to say before I got to these questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I was at work,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I offended somebody.
Okay.
So this lady was talking to me, and she said, "Oh, my friend,
Mm-hmm.
my friend, who is, I'm going to change careers. My friend who is a NASA scientist.
Mhm.
His wife fell downstairs at the house, at their home, their lovely home,
Hmm.
and she's gone to the hospital, and he posted about it,
How tragic.
right? Well, she's at this point she's injured, right? But then he says 2 hours later he posts, unfortunately, and let's just make up a name for her, Molly. Molly has died from a brain bleed.
Wow.
Now the first thing I thought was Fatal Attraction. What's one of them shows you be watching?
Fatal Attraction.
What's another one? What's another one?
Dateline. Fatal Vows.
But,
Why did they get married?
girl, that's the first place I
Fear
went.
Thy Neighbor.
That's the first place I went.
Deadly Women.
In this case, Deadly Husband. That's the first place my mind went. When she said that, I was like, girl, did he get her cremated? Like, girl, what happened? Like,
So you went into joke mode.
I joked because I was serious. You know how when you're joking about something, but when you're serious about something, but you throw a joke on it to try to like
Right.
maybe make it not that you're that serious.
I think you didn't read the room.
And I was like, girl, I'm thinking about Fatal Attraction, girl. Do you think something might have been happening? Because falling downstairs, girl.
I would have thought so. I wouldn't have said it.
And she looked at me and she walked away. I was like, oh, that's all I need to know. I guess I said
It's not funny.
But yeah, but y'all tell me in the comments if I was wrong. Because I was thinking, girl,
I mean, I think
Fatal Vows.
when something happens to a spouse, 99% of the time they're gonna be thinking about
It's the spouse.
Spouse. who
Yes,
did
girl.
something,
Investigate her, especially if she gets a big settlement.
but you don't have to air that thought out until you.
I'm usually good about that, but I guess I don't know. I thought she could handle it. I misread the room. I thought she could handle it. I thought she would appreciate the joke.
misread the room. Did you talk to her later?
No, I did not. I ignored it, pretended it didn't happen.
Okay. Sometimes that's the best.
Sometimes that's best.
You have to keep on moving.
Just keep on moving, girl. It didn't happen. Just pretend it didn't happen. It's like when you're around somebody and they say like a racial slur, like when they say it like they don't mean it in a like that person is a blah blah blah. It's like they say it like. Let me just stop. I'm going to dig myself in a hole. But sometimes we just ignore things because it's just easier just to keep moving.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Oh gosh,
happens.
man, I almost got us canceled right there. Actually, no, I would have edited it out, so I could have said it and cut it out later. Okay, so I guess we gotta figure out a name for this segment. It's gonna either be called like Dear Grooms. That just feels right now. We can call it something else.
Yeah, that's good.
So this first message is from Jess in Portland. So we have somebody listening in Portland. You must be one of my lesbian friends. I have a lesbian friend in Arkansas. Hey, Angela and Sarah, who listen to the podcast. And Angela was like, I sent the podcast to my girlfriends, so I'm assuming Jess from Portland must be one of your friends, girl. I don't know. But Jess, thank you for listening. Jess said, hey, Grooms, I'm curious, how did you know he was the one? Was it instant or a slow burn? That's a good question. I have the worst memory. So I'm gonna let Shannon go first. Do you have a recollection of like when you knew I was the one? Uh,
It was pretty instant for us. We met that night,
hmm
and
I mean, it was daytime. It wasn't like that.
well, it was evening.
It was, but yeah, but the lights were still up. The street lights were not on. Okay,
Yet
but go ahead.
it was after 12 noon.
Okay, there you go ahead.
Yeah, it was pretty instant. You know, it on the phone or texting really didn't do it, but then when we met in person, it was a very comfortable
Mm-hmm.
connection at the beginning,
Mm-hmm. It was.
and then after we ate and we relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty instant.
Yeah, it was pretty
I think both
instant.
of us.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's two versions of the one, right? It's the one of like, I know I want to see this guy. I want to date him. And then then the one I want to marry him. There's like two of those. So the one to date, yeah, that to date was instant. It was like all the things you said. Pretty much that night, we were like, hey, let's do this. And so, and that comes with aged children.
It does.
Uh, and listen, you younger people, you may have those kind of feelings for people. And actually, you're going to probably have a lot of times you're going to have that feeling because when you're young, it's all about the passion and the fire and everything. And so sometimes the passion and the fire leads you astray because you're also not paying attention to the signs. Passion and fire sometimes can blur you to the sign, to warning signs,
Yes.
and to the whispers of "girl, he not it. That's not it, girl. Girl, you see, he never pays for anything, girl. No, don't do it." But the passion and the fire will make you ignore that sometimes.
Yeah.
But just because you get older too, though, don't necessarily don't mean you stop playing the fool. Because even older folks play the fool sometimes.
Yeah.
I got a friend who has a man who living up in his house, and the man don't work, but the man is fine. And my friend and my friend's friend is letting it happen because the man is fine. But if the man wasn't fine, it would not pass muster. Okay,
You like
but
what you like.
what you like, what you
like
like,
what you like.
you tolerate what you want to tolerate.
Right.
But for I digress. But for the one, as far as it relates to getting married, um, I remember telling myself because you came down because you were working remote and you came to Texas and we just pretty much just shacked up together for I don't know, was it like 3 or 6 months or something?
Yeah, I came. The first time I came was 3 months, 3.5 months.
And so for me, that was the test. For me, that was the test because I am a kind of while I'm a extrovert, I'm also an introvert, whatever that combination is. I'm someone who does enjoy I love, communicating and everything, but I also like solitude. I enjoy going my own way and, and occupying my own space. I don't need to be around people. And so, and I'm also very easily irritated. And so I was like, if we can survive this, and I didn't tell him this, of course. This is just on the inside. I'm thinking, if we can do this, and the house wasn't that big anyway. It was like a 2-bedroom house. It was a 3-bedroom house, but it was a small 3-bedroom house. And I was thinking to myself, if we can survive this, if this, or does it feel like I'm surviving? It feels comfortable. And I just woke up one day and I was like, I like having him here. I like having him here. I like being around him, even when we're not necessarily on the same couch or whatever. It's good knowing he's in the house. It was just that part uh, was the thing that made me go, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was
This is
powerful
this is it.
because when we met, I mean, you're living in, the other side of the world, so to speak,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
was on the East Coast,
yeah.
and we still kind of was, okay, let's do this. In the past, I would not have
No.
considered it
Yeah, like,
because
oh,
I
long
don't really
distance.
like
No.
long distance,
Right.
and that's really long distance. That's a plane ride
Yeah, yeah,
and driving.
yeah. And I still think you should have those kind of standards for yourself. But I always say, if the person is right for you, sometimes those standards will go out the window. You know, to not, and I don't mean standards that are destructive, like you're giving your money away or letting somebody live in your house who ain't working. I mean, like, I don't date long distance, but all of a sudden you meet somebody, you go, oh, I'd rather date you long distance than not date you at all. You know
Yeah, I
what I
can
mean?
get that. But I think for us, it was just the timing
Mm-hmm.
and our places in our individual lives. For
Right.
me, I
Yeah.
just got a remote job, so I could come and hang out with you
Mm-hmm.
to
Right.
learn you.
Right. So that played a big part
Yes,
in it. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, sure.
And then, you accepted me and my, baggage,
Yes.
and you still do.
And I still do.
Yes.
Okay, so this message or question comes from Marcus from Chicago. Hey, Marcus.
Hey,
You
Mark.
sound like you may be of the bear community, the black bear community. I'm
You
stereotyping.
wasn't making up
I
stuff. You don't know.
don't know. Did either of you come out after you met, or were you already out and proud before the relationship? Oh, that's a good question. I'll let you start first, Shannon. Do you consider yourself out before we met?
I think there are different levels of being out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is the most out I've been, meaning we're on a podcast, we got married.
I think when we said we were in a relationship on Facebook, that was like a big thing for
That was
you.
really big because I'm very private and introverted. So for me, I'm thinking, okay, what's my family going to think? Is my brother going to be mad at me? My sister's going to be mad at me? Or, am I exposing them as well as myself? And how are they going to feel? So I was worried about everybody else but me. I was okay, but I've been in such a place of like, I know who I am. The most important people in my life know who I am and what I'm about. So that's how I lived. I never said, hey, I'm gay to
Right.
certain friends or coworkers or anything like that. So for me, I guess I was out when I moved to DC originally, kind of out going to clubs and stuff and dating and being okay to tell my brothers and sisters and my niece and nephew
Yeah.
that I was.
Mm-hmm.
So that I guess that was my first coming out, but I didn't like come out to everybody like on social media or anything. So I guess that was part of me still, I guess, in a closet,
Slightly.
so to speak.
The closet was cracked.
Yeah, but I think now it was kind of blown open
Yeah.
by being here.
Well, I was definitely out.
Okay.
I've been out damn spot for a long time, so no. It was already out, Marcus. Okay, number 3. What's something you deal with as a married gay couple that your straight friends just don't get? This is from Aaron in Dallas. I think Aaron is a former student of mine. Hey, Aaron. What's something you deal with as a married gay couple that your straight friends just don't get? I would say when you invite new people into your life, and I don't mean into your life, I mean, you have the cable guy come over, you have the Mr. Fix-It, whoever, the plumber. We're always coming out to strangers, right? In the sense of, uh, oh, this is who's that? Oh, that's my husband, or oh, my husband and I want to get the. And most people are really good about acting like you never miss a beat. And we live in Texas, and you would think it would be a deal, but it's really never has been a deal. I don't think. at least not openly.
Not for me, though.
And so, most people never miss a beat about it. That, you know, but it's something that other couples don't have to deal with. They don't have to worry about going, okay, here's the part where we let them know that it's two big black guys and they're married. It's something that people, they just don't have to deal with that constantly coming out. What
I guess
you have anything?
I guess it's similar. I can't think of anything else that we do that's not like any other couple or relationship, whether it's straight or not.
Well, I mean,
Think?
I can think of another thing. I mean, I think of stuff like just giving out candy at Thanksgiving, at Halloween. Um, you know, are the neighbors going to have a problem with the kids coming by, knowing that we're a gay couple living in the neighborhood, and or what have you? I mean, but that's some of my stuff. But but straight couples never have to think about that, right? And I don't think there's been any issue in the neighborhood, and we have the best decorations in the neighborhood, and the kids love coming to our front door to get candy because it's a whole show. It's theater, honey. It's theater, and they love it. It's smoke, it's fog, it's
Yeah.
lights, it's
Yeah.
ghouls and goblins. It's all the things.
We give it to them.
Yeah, so they're like, we coming to the gays' house. The kids are like, we don't care what you say, mom and daddy. We coming to the gays' house because the gays is where it's at. And for the trick or treat. But you do think about those things because I guess sometimes you think about, I don't know, just being in defense mode before you're rejected, I guess.
Yeah, we do have to worry about those things, but I think it's more in our minds than
Other people's
others,
minds. Sure, it's true.
especially where we are. I don't feel it at all from people. I do notice, certain people. If I say my husband, they're like, and it's a slight,
Just a
yeah,
yeah.
it's a little
Their
slight
matrix has
thing,
been slightly disrupted.
but
Yeah,
they keep on moving
yeah,
as if I don't see a big change in their reaction to me or
Mhm,
how they
mhm.
deal with us or communicate with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes by, saying that to them and standing in it,
Right.
they're being proud, but just it's who we are.
This
And
is
we're
a
not
fact.
hiding it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about business. It's about whatever we're dealing with. But, we've never had any kind of negative um, reaction from people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Ty in Atlanta. Hi, Ty.
We're getting a lot of questions.
Did either of you always dream of getting married, or was it something that surprised you both later on?
I was surprised. I never thought I'd ever get married in this life
Mm.
at all. I just grew up in a time where that was never part of my my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to grow old with someone,
Mm-hmm.
but the marriage part was like, okay, that's for straight people and their kind of thing. But
Mm.
I never thought that I would ever do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just never thought.
I did. Since I was one of those people who probably would have had a commitment ceremony. You know what I mean? Like I would have had some kind of ceremony to, whether it was legal or not. I would have had some kind of ceremony to what's the word I'm looking for,
Commemorate or
to commemorate, to consecrate the relationship. So yes, I most definitely did. Next question. How do you navigate being openly gay in places that aren't exactly waving rainbow flags? And this is from an anonymous listener in Florida. I understand, girl. You live in Florida. You got to keep it anonymous. I understand.
I think we're always cautious of our surroundings, right? And we're not.
Aware. I don't know about the word cautious, but aware.
I'm aware at times.
Uh-huh.
Cautious at times because I can feel certain, spaces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, that doesn't stop me from doing certain things or talking to you or being close to you, but we were never ones that like holding our hands down the street or anything.
Right, yeah. Like the other day, we met at Chipotle for dinner, and I thought about like giving you a kiss, And I was like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with people. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Sometimes we do it.
Sometimes,
And
sometimes we
we
do
don't.
do it. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. But I think that day I was left off of work, and I was just like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just decided not to do it because and it wasn't so much about I didn't have a desire to do it. It was more I was responding to the environment, and I was just like I don't feel like dealing
Yeah,
with
that's all I mean.
energy. Yeah,
Not that I'm scared or
yeah.
suppressing it or anything, but there's a time and place for a lot of things.
Hmm.
And as long as we know who we are to each other, I don't really care.
Right. And of course, we live in small town Texas, but I think a good thing Shannon pointed out is that some of this stuff is our stuff. It's not necessarily stuff that people have put upon us,
Mhm.
although it's not coming from a made up place. It's coming from a place of what we've seen and lived experiences. And,
Yeah.
it's like, it's, it's legitimate feelings, but
Yeah.
not necessarily can we point to, oh yeah, it's when he said this or she said that,
Yeah.
I keep hearing about, this is from Leo in San Diego. I keep hearing about chosen family. What does that mean to you guys, and do you have one?
Chosen family.
Yeah, I think chosen family. You hear a lot about this in the LGBTQ plus family, uh, because so many people get kicked out of their families because they're gay, transsexual, whatever,
Oh, that's what you mean.
and
Or
so they get kicked out of their families. People, they're made homeless as teenagers,
Mhm.
and so you learn pretty quickly to gravitate towards the people who gravitate towards you,
yeah.
to be loved to love on the people who love you, and those are your chosen family. You know, and there are people who love you, who are there for you through good and bad, who don't abandon you because because you disappoint them.
Right.
Because it's okay that for parents to be disappointed that you were not who they had hoped you would be.
Mhm.
I think that's okay. What's not okay is for them to abandon you. And so that's where this whole idea of chosen family comes from.
Okay. So that's what you mean. Yeah, I think just because you're blood relative doesn't mean that you're family sometimes.
Hmm.
And you need to be around people who love you and support you and care about you and are there for you.
Hmm.
I don't think anybody should put up with family members disrespecting them in any kind of way or not accepting them for who you are.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting people,
Yeah.
of course. But yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
So Tasha from New Orleans wrote, okay, be honest. Who's the drama queen and who's the calm, collected one?
Take one guess.
Shannon, go ahead and admit it.
I'm the drama queen.
I'm glad you had the courage to stand there on it right now.
Now you want to tell the truth?
I would like the court to call to the court to say, can you tell me an example of how I am the drama? Go.
I have so many. It's not even funny.
Oh, please give me a good one. Go ahead, give me one.
A few times on here when I was trying to help you out when we were getting ready for this podcast,
Yeah.
when I was trying to help you out,
Yeah.
you were like, "Oh, it's not time for that."
Oh, so
Drama.
you mean me
Drama.
keeping order to the show is drama?
The show hadn't started.
But I said it's not time for that.
You didn't say it like that. It was very heightened.
I think you need another example because that example's kind of falling flat.
Tonight, when we're setting up again,
Trying to help you, huh?
when we're setting up again,
Yeah.
and you were trying to get a visual of
Uh-huh.
how the video was going to look,
Yeah.
and I said, "It's too much headspace.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to hear that right now."
Well, I did not need to, but no, finish the sentence because like you're not finishing the sentence.
The sentence is finished.
No, that's not. I said I don't need to hear that right now because I haven't fixed it yet. I was in the middle of fixing the camera when you were giving me a note about the camera, and I was like,
I'm
essentially,
not ready to take notes right now.
yes, essentially, wait till I finish doing what I'm doing and then give me feedback. Don't give me a
I
note
should be
while I'm in the
giving
middle of
feedback
feedback.
anytime I want.
See,
And
this
you
is-
say, okay, I'm fixing it now. Okay.
and
How does this
is-
look?
And who's the drama? If he's going to pout and say, I give you feedback whenever I want to give you feedback, sounds like you're the drama.
I'm not drama.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you out.
I will say I could be the drama, but he too. Uh,
Oh, we going,
what?
we skipping it?
Do you have more? You have another? I don't know. I thought we saw. Cause,
Okay. I'm the calm one.
fine. If you had to put a category on it, he's the most calm, and I'm the most dramatic between the two of us. How about that?
Okay. That's all I wanted to hear.
Oh, here's a good one from Benji in Toronto. Hey, Benji.
Hey, Benji.
Do people ever assume you're brothers or roommates? Any awkward stories?
All the time.
All the time.
We're brothers,
We're
even twins at times.
Twins a lot.
We get that a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
In the airport. And we can be wearing different clothes. It doesn't matter.
Double takes all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
And, you know, oh,
hmm
brothers.
Yeah. People are always excited to see two gray bearded twins, black twins. They think they've discovered unicorns. They're like, oh, you guys are twins. And
No,
I know.
my husband.
Here's my husband.
And
Gasp.
Clutch and Pros.
Audible.
The last time we traveled,
Yes.
a lady, she was
In her wheelchair. She,
And I had to run back for my ticket.
yeah. And she asked Shannon, how'd it go?
Was that your husband that went through? No. No, she said, is that your brother that went through the gates that you helped?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, my husband. And I kept going, but then I looked back and she was, she may have had a heart attack.
You caused her a short circuit, honey. She circuited for a little bit. It happens, but we take it in stride. It's funny. I mean, we do favor each other, and if you maybe are just glancing at us and adjusting to us, we can see how you may think we look a whole lot alike. But anyone who spends any amount of time looking at us will realize, I think we don't look a whole lot alike.
No.
Not a whole lot. A little bit alike.
Yep.
I want to have two more. Have you talked about kids or your pets, basically your babies? This is from Rosa in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, Rosa, ¿cómo está?
I wanted to have kids earlier in my life, but now I think I'm a little too old to
He's
have
too old.
kids.
I could do it, but go ahead.
I want to be a young father, playing, riding bikes, throwing the football around, playing basketball.
Maybe having a kid would make you young and do all those things.
I can't roll like I used to.
You don't have to roll like you used to, roll like you need to.
I want to, be a young father. That's all.
The ship is sailed, then be an old father. If you want to have kids, just be the father that you are.
I know, but I don't think it's fair to a kid to be a certain age.
I think a kid needs
father.
to be loved. That's what a kid needs to be loved, taken care of. They don't need, everybody don't have to be. There's young fathers who don't roll around and do all the athletic stuff with the kids and stuff.
I know, but I want to do that. I want to be just a little younger and more vibrant.
Hey, I'm not telling you to do it. I support you because I don't want no kids, so I'm fine with it. I think I would be a horrible father.
No, you wouldn't.
Just because I want the kid to do what I want them to do. That's it.
most
That
parents.
part.
That's most parents.
Right. And
That's called discipline.
it would be a problem if they didn't. I don't want no problems. Last one, Dev from Seattle. What's one piece of advice you'd give to a young gay couple just starting out?
And we've talked about this a few times.
To a young gay couple.
Always communicate. Build your communication with each other. Never go to bed angry. Always talk it out. Try not to say things that you can't take back, that you'll regret.
Mm-hmm.
Because once it's in the air, you can't take it back.
Mm-hmm. I would say have fun together. Everything doesn't have to be serious. You know, you got to be able to laugh together, make each other laugh at some of the same things. You don't have to, but also though you have to be able to, accept the person as they come and not try to make them into somebody else. I think that's the big thing. And what I mean is if you get with someone who likes alone time, don't try to be up under them 24/7. Give them 5-6 hours a day where they can, whatever, 2 hours they can chill by themselves. Or if you're someone you know that you're getting with somebody who's a huge cuddler, you are destined to cuddle for the rest of your life. Don't be talking about get off me, it's hot. You chose them when you got with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you just need to embrace that thing. You know?
Yeah.
You could ask for more or less, in a nice way, like, oh, hey, I would love it if you touched me more. You're not very affectionate. I know you're not, but I would love it if you gave me a little bit more. Ask for what you want, but also recognize who you had in the first place. And know that who the person was when y'all are dating is the best they're going to get. Think about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people may, I don't know, upgrade, but typically people are bringing their best self to the dating process.
Yeah.
And so if you don't like what you get during the dating process, you need to opt out because it does not get better. Ask how many women will tell you that, oh, he used to whoop my ass when we were dating. When we got married, he stopped whooping my ass. If that don't happen. He used to cheat when we dated, but when we got married, he stopped cheating. That don't happen. We had the baby, he stopped cheating. She stopped cheating. No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So whatever they're giving to you, that's probably the best. So just don't expect people to change, but only accept what you can really live with.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and definitely compromise on things as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that your partner likes something or dislikes something, you have to kind of shuffle around a little bit, but not losing yourself either.
Yeah.
So you just have to be honest with yourself and make sure that you can live with certain parts of that person that you really don't like, or and accept the ones that the parts that you love about them, and just live your best lives. But don't do a whole lot of settling because like you said, the best is the best at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can grow, more in love and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't mean your best memories when you first start off. Of course, that which is not what you're saying, but just to confirm, I'm just saying as far as people's behavior.
Yeah,
people usually on their best behavior when they first get together. But ultimately, like Shannon said, communication, having fun, making memories together. It's the little things,
making time for each other. Yeah.
And also just your person should love you as good in private as they do in public. If they love you best in public, girl, run for the hills. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this has been a long episode, one of our longer episodes.
Yeah.
But it's been
it was a good one.
It was a good one. There was not a lot of fluff. I think it was a lot of meat.
Yeah, we talked about a lot. We covered a lot.
I'm really impressed with the the write-ins by the listeners, and I really appreciate that.
I do too. It was
So,
a lot of. How long have they been writing?
These have been percolating for probably like 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So
keep them coming, please, please.
Yeah, keep them coming. And any topic. It doesn't have to be just about us. It's anything. Once again, this is Two Grooms and a
Pod,
and I'm Cleo,
and I'm Shannon.
And it really has been a pleasure, guys.
It definitely has.
Ta-ta.
Bye.